Welcome to NEMO Fishing, and this is a location review for Route J Reservoir, also known as Monroe City Lake. Route J Reservoir is on Route J, south of Highway 36 and 24, just a little bit east of Monroe City. As you travel south on Route J, you'll make a right turn and just follow the signs. It's real easy to get to. You pull into the parking area, you see that in the yellow, and there's a boat launch there and restrooms. Notice there are docks for handicap fishing. Near the dam there is an old reservoir concrete tower that's good to target. The spillway is a good area as well, sometimes to visit for shallow water fishing, and there are occasionally duck blinds on the water that provide structure as well. On the northern side of the lake, you have a couple coves that are really shallow flats that are very good for topwater fishing, particularly in the summertime. Route J is open from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. for fishing. No swimming and no boating. There is duck hunting at times, so be aware of that when duck season is in session. But this is a great lake to fish, especially for small boats, kayaks, canoes, because there's a no wake rule for bigger boats. So there's not a bunch of boats running all over the lake. It is a good alternative fishing place from Mark Twain Lake, especially if there is a tournament in session or it's a holiday weekend and very busy. There's a healthy bass population in this lake. According to electrofishing results from Missouri Department of Conservation, 10% of the bass that they surveyed were over 18 inches last year, so that's a good size. It's always nice to have restrooms and a boat launch there, and docks if you don't have a boat. There's places to fish from the shore, but not a lot. There is good wood cover in this lake and lots of fish attractors. Make sure to check the Mo Fishing app map for fish attractors. And there's lots of creeks and drainage feeders into this water that provide food. And if in a kayak, you can actually get back in there and catch some nice fish. So those are some of the better aspects of Route J Reservoir. This lake can get skunky at times with algae and weeds. Of course, weeds are good for fish. You just have to learn to adjust your fishing accordingly, using baits that you can use on top of the water or that are weedless. There is no weekly report available from the Missouri Department of Conservation, which sometimes is a good thing because if you there's a lot of times I won't go fishing if I see a bad report and it's just an outdated report. But this lake always has good fish on it, so that's not that big of a deal. And like I said before, there is occasionally duck hunters on the lake, so you want to be advised about that. As far as tactics go for this lake, specifically thinking about bass, largemouth bass, there are largemouth in this lake, no smallmouth, no Kentucky bass or spotted bass that I know of. There are bluegill and crappie and a couple species of catfish, channel cats, and I believe bullhead cats. So primarily a bass fishing lake, and because I like to fish fast and target active fish, a lot of the times I will use topwaters on this lake, especially prop baits where I can land and target an area and then work it back to me. Shallow diving crankbaits are good, and if it's windy I will use occasionally spinner baits, but they probably see a lot of spinner baits, so that's not my go-to for this area. But any bass fishing tactic you would use on any other typical lake will work here. If it gets slow, I'll occasionally use a custom-made floating minnow, kind of like a Rapala, and I can work that slowly to target fish, or use soft plastics, worms and creature baits and things like that. So like I said, use your typical comfortable bass fishing tactics and you'll do well here. Route J Reservoir is a good lake to fish, especially for kayak fishermen, so I'd encourage you to try it out. So go visit Route J Reservoir. Thanks for watching NEMO Fishing. Go and catch you some.